Hey, good morning. Russell Hotel's going live just for a couple minutes. You guys know how I do it. This is the daily check-in. Yeah, you're right. This is the daily check-in. You got it right today, but I'm a little early. I know most people like, what is he doing it so early for? Because I have a guest on today, and she happens to be on the East Coast, and we want to make sure that it's accommodating for her. It had nothing to do with me. If I needed to be up at 6 in the morning, which I'm normally up anyway, I'd have been here. If she wanted to do it at 6, I would have done it at 6. Okay, but we set it at 9 o'clock, her my time, which is, I guess, is that noon your time? 9, 10, you're on the East Coast. Yeah, so it's 12 o'clock there. So we have none other than Miss Stacia Harvey Randall as our guest today. So we appreciate her coming on with a little bit of her time today, and she's talking about something new today. So I'm gonna get into it with her. Not get into it with her, but we're going to get into her bio, and then that way you'll get a little information about it. But before I get to the bio, I just want to welcome Miss Stacia to the stage. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me again. Long
Yeah,
overdue.
that is right. That is right. This is the second time we've done this. But, of course, each time we do this, I mean, she has something a lot more that's going on than the previous time, right? So we want to catch up, see what she's been doing, what she's been working on. And I know the stuff is amazing because we did have some conversations prior to this, of course, and just some amazing things that she's doing there in the Atlanta area that's I think is going to impact not just the Atlanta area, but throughout the country. That's what I think. So but that's just me. I don't know. We're gonna see. We're gonna find out. But anyway, let me just start with her bio, and then we're gonna get into it. So please forgive me if I mispronounce things because sometimes it's early. Okay, so give me a break. Give me a break. So okay, Stacia Harvey Randall is the director of human resources for the Whitley Hotel in Buckhead, Atlanta. She started her career as a front desk agent and worked her way up through operations to human resources. Stacia was the 2023 Community Service Award recipient for the GHLA Awards. She is also the owner of Elevated Vocals LLC, which offers public speaking, entertainment, and career coaching services. Under the Elevated Vocals umbrella, she develops children from the age of 9 to 16 in a program called the Vocalizers. I like that. To help them build confidence and develop their public speaking skills. Stacia also has the L Voice series, which features female trailblazers that have made significant contributions to their careers and to their communities. She has worked in the hotel industry for 22 years, working for various brands. Stacia is an advisory board chair for Astute Hospitality Partners, where she is assisting with planning her first hospitality conference in Atlanta called Bridge the Gap. Stacia experienced many barriers in her career and now is knocking down doors and paving the way for women just like her. She has been featured on 7 podcasts, hopefully one of those was mine, and featured in 8 articles. Stacia has a podcast that will be transitioning soon to live. Okay, transitioning soon. It's gonna be called Live with Stacia Talk Show. That's what I'm talking about. So welcome again, Miss Stacia Randall. I do appreciate you coming on here. I know you're busy. I know you got stuff going on. As we were getting ready for this, she's walking through the corridors of her hotel, and people are like trying to get her attention and all this stuff. She's like, I ain't got time for this. I got to be on this live in the next 5 minutes. So, like she was going from hair and makeup to the stage So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate what's been going on.
Nothing much, Russell. I'm glad that I was able to reach out to you and, of course, be able to join again and fit into your busy schedule. As you have always welcomed and opened up your platform for me to be on, and I appreciate that. I wanted to come on today to talk about a very important project that I'm working on that really can assist all of our hospitalians, as I found a need to partner and advise astute hospitality partners. And I came up with, I would like to work with you on planning a conference called Bridging the Gap. And Bridging the Gap is really a learning conference, a networking opportunity with abilities to recognize 25 hospitality all stars in the city of Atlanta that have really poured into the hospitality industry and are true ambassadors. I thought that was another great way to recognize the individuals that are truly in the trenches on the front line servicing our guests. And when me and my partner decided to name the conference Bridging the Gap, it was all about streamlining the communication between hourly associates and senior leadership. I have attended many conferences where when I walk in the building, it's many senior leadership, investors, CEOs, and you may find some students. But I'm like, you know what? Let's create something different. And sometimes you have to step outside of the box to get different results. And I speak a lot to students. I speak a lot to hourly associates. I'm a very engaging person. And I feel like this is an opportunity to get everyone in the room to be able to find that opportunity that they're looking for, or be able to find that mentor that they need, and also receive some coaching and learning opportunities as well.
I like that. I like that. Why do you think okay, let me just ask this. Why do you think we need to bridge the gap between um, hourly associates and management?
Well, I feel it's very necessary. You know, when I think about when I was coming up through the ranks, when I started my career in 2000, I mean, being able to walk up to a general manager and have a conversation with them and say, let's talk about your career and how you got started was kind of unheard of. You had to go through so many different channels to get to that top leader. And it put fear in me and many of my coworkers, and it was the perception of, you know, we cannot approach them. And, you know, it went that long for a very long time. And now that we are transitioning and we are reaching a different age and time, I feel like it needs to be more approachable, because in order for us to expand the hospitality industry and find those hospitalians that left, find out why they left and bring them back or engage new ones, we have to do things different and try different strategies. And if I'm seeing the person at the top that's approachable, that's like, you know, I think I see a bright future with you at hospitality. Let's talk about it. That can convince them to come back or continue their journey. So I think it's very important.
I mean, I think it is important as well. But it's funny how a lot of the conferences you go to is management training and things like that. It's never or very seldom we're training up our associates to be maybe someday management. Either you come in as that, or you luck out, you know, through I guess through persistence, being noticed, But a lot of times we don't have that one-on-one dialogue or that kind of a streamline from being hourly to management. I mean, normally that does not happen. I've been in the industry just as long as you, if maybe not a little longer, and I came in as a manager, right? I came in as a direct or a management trainee years ago, and then kind of worked my way up. So I knew the trajectory that I was on. But I remember people coming to me and asking me, well, how do I get to be a manager? Or maybe I identified them as being a supervisor of candidate or something like that. But a lot of the managers that I came in with didn't do that. They just basically like, either you come in as a manager or that's it. And we're not promoting anybody. We're not doing any of that stuff. So I think that's very important, not just for the Atlanta community, but for the entire hospitality community, that we pay attention more to, and like you said, why do people leave the industry, especially during the pandemic? Why did a lot of people leave, and where do they go? And are they going to come back?
Yes,
Yeah. So
absolutely. And I thought that this would be another avenue to kind of pique that interest and find those good people, um, build some great connections, and just give our hourly associates and entry level managers a sense of belonging. You
yes,
know, they belong in the room because they are our future, and their insight is very important. Sometimes when we recruit or, we look at recognition. We do things that we think they want. Let's stop thinking and let's get them in the room and let's have conversation about it, because what I'm assuming that you may want may not necessarily be the case. So this is an opportunity to really bridge that gap, have some dialogue, and just see what comes of it.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. So, real quick, before we get into kind of the specifics of the conference and things like that, tell us a little bit about your journey, how you got to where you are.
So I started off as a front desk agent, and it was just a job for me to help my roommate pay the bills. And I was going to school to be a secondary English education teacher. And I started at one of the biggest properties in New Orleans, which was the Hyatt Regency. It had 1,100 rooms at the time. And I think my start date was around Essence Music Festival when they had over 900 check-ins. So it was a sink and swim or swim situation. Um, you didn't ask, "Where's my training?" or "Where is this?" It's you getting thrown to the wolves, and you're getting on the desk, and you're gonna smile, and you're gonna make the best of it. And I started to really fall in love with the industry when people were interacting with me, and when they received their keys, they would ask, "What is your name?" Because I want to write a letter. Or where do I get a comment card? At that time at Hyatt, we had the card stock comment cards where you can give it to them and they will handwrite them and drop them in the box after they get ready to check out. That month, I averaged over 50 comment cards. And now I'm on the phone telling my family I'm not going to be a teacher. I decided I'm going to be in hospitality because I found something that I am really, really great at. And it just kept happening for me, the way I was servicing my guests and how I was just so dedicated, willing to work any and every shift to learn all that I can. And by the time that I graduated, I was an assistant front office manager. So I'm like, why am I going to go start in a classroom and observe when I'm already in the peaks of my career? Everyone was running to the career services office to find out who's hiring and where they can be placed. And I was waving at the career service director saying, I'm good. I'm already in my career. And it just felt so good because I felt like it was something that I worked hard for. Promotions were not given to me, they were earned. Relationships were built. Even when people left, they remembered me. And when I wanted to transition into HR, it was my assistant front office manager that remembered me, that opened the door. And this testimony is so important because you have to make sure that you don't burn bridges, because you never know when you have to cross that bridge again. And I learned so many things as moving up in my career, even getting the no's. But now that I look at it, the no's were needed because it was not a setback, it was a delay for me to learn those critical skills to be able to move to the next level. And I am so glad that I took my time, because now I feel like I'm very in tune with all operations. I feel like I could communicate with different individuals. I have an understanding of the job that you're doing. I've been in the trenches. I know it. So now it's about balancing the team, helping other teams work together, and having us come out as champions at the end of the day.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I love that. So, how did you get? Okay, from there, how did you say that? Okay, you love the industry now. You love servicing, the guests and things like that. Now, how did you, I guess, get from there to being in HR, human resources? How did that transition go?
So once I decided, after my last position in operations was reservations and communications manager, I said, okay, if you're not going to be a director of front office, if you're not going to be a director of housekeeping or have a desire to go to director of rooms, this is the time that you stop right now and make a decision. I didn't want to invest in anyone's time going to different departments, moving up when I knew that I didn't have a desire to be a director of rooms, an assistant general manager, or a general manager. My passion was to train and to facilitate trainings and recruit. I have always been about let me train the class, let me be the engager, let me plan the events. And I wanted to transition all my strengths to another department that could elevate me. And that's how I chose human resources. And from there, I stopped at an assistant director for almost 6 years because then I started to doubt myself and say, can I really be an HR director? And that was because I had fear in me, fear of failing, fear of not being that great HRD. And I kept scaring myself. I had directors that believed in me and kept asking me, I don't know why you are scared. What are you scared of? Because they felt like my reasoning was not strong enough, but they didn't push me. They allowed me to sit there in my fear until I decided that I was ready. So then that's when I transitioned to the HR director and I realized I've been doing this all along. I scared myself basically.
Wow. Okay. I love that. I love that. Wow. I mean, everybody has a story, right? And that's why I wanted to, take some time to hear that because I always tell people when I do these kind of conversations, and mainly they're with people in hospitality, I always ask them, did you choose hospitality or did hospitality choose you? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And basically, what would you say? How would you answer that question?
Oh, I chose hospitality. It
Okay.
didn't choose me. It was also a calling as well. When you know, you know.
Love it, love it, love it. Hey, we're on with Stacia Harvey Randall. We're doing this is a daily check-in with Russell of Hotels. We're just asking some questions. We're live on LinkedIn. We're live on YouTube. So if you want to make comments, please do so. Especially on YouTube, you can make your comments in real time. I see them on my screen, and I'll put them on the screen so the whole world can see which questions and who you are, because that's what it's all about. But yeah, so we're going through her journey, but we're going to transition from her being on property as an HR director to being an entrepreneur, motivational speaker, being on podcasts. Where did all that come from?
When I wanted to grow outside the HR realm. And I'm like, it's more for you to do. So really see what your gift is. And it's really just speaking and talking and having relationships and building relationships with people. And that's how I transitioned to all the other projects.
Okay, okay. Now let's talk about bridging the gap, the fireside chat. Did you realize that rhyme? Did you knew that rhyme when you said that?
Bridging the gap, the fireside chat. It has a
Yes.
nice ring to it. Yes.
Yes, let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, you're organizing it. What was the motivation behind creating this conference?
Wanting something different. We wanted it to pertain to hospitality, but we also wanted to get everyone involved and not just a select few of individuals. So we have to break down that barrier and make it comfortable. So we wanted to create a platform where it would be comfortable. And that's why we're doing these panel sessions. And one of the panel sessions that we are doing is going to actually have hourly associates on the stage with senior execs, being able to ask them questions and vice versa to get them comfortable with being able to have dialogue with those associates.
Mm, mm. Love it, love it, love it. Now, what are the exact dates for this? And can you share maybe some of the speakers that will be there that will be assisting you
Yes,
with this?
absolutely. So the conference is September 25th and September 26th. It's a full day on September 25th, and it's a half day on September 26th, but you will come back that evening at 5 p.m. to a dinner and dance where we salute our hospitality all-star champions, which will be a total of 25. And it will be held at the Marriott Marquis in downtown Atlanta. And when we looked at individuals that we wanted on the panel, we wanted a variety because it is not just hospitalians that is going to be able to move the metric, but you need others as well. So we have a doctor that owns 5 chiropractic clinics that will be joining us. Her name is Dr. Dawn Samad. She's going to talk to us about wellness because that is something that is not discussed sometimes at conferences, and that's very important for you to be your best self. We also have someone that I used to work with, Mr. Ramon Reyes, that is the area managing director for Omni CNN in Atlanta. He has a book, and we are going to be featuring him as an author. And his book is about hospitality. And that's a true example of how you can still be a hospitality professional and still pursue things outside of your career that caters to the industry. We're also going to have another author, Mr. Caesar Worm. We're going to have general managers that will be on the stage. And we will also have Rachel Humphreys, who is the founder of the Women Alliance Group that is helping to push more women on the stages at conferences and other different platforms. So we have a variety of different speakers. And we also have Dr. Benjamin Lawrence, who is over the Georgia State Hospitality School, who will be joining us as we want you to be able to come to that conference and be able to see the resources that could be provided for you to continue your education in hospitality. And you will be able to apply to go to Georgia State University.
Wow. Wow, you got a lot going on here. Now, how was this received? How was this received when you started putting this together, getting some people involved? I know AstuteHospitalityPartners.com. I can go there and get information there, but how was this received within the Atlanta hospitality community, if you will?
It is received very well. I just think it's very important that I vocalize it so people can understand that this is not a conference just for your sales director or your general manager or your RVP. I need you to understand this is for everyone. This is for your room attendants. This is for your housemen, your bellmen, your front office agents, your accountants. Everyone can benefit from this conference. And guess what? You can make this a team building engagement. If you haven't taken your team out in a very long time, or if you feel like you need to close that gap with your team, maybe you should bring them to the conference and sit down at the table with them and learn together. Get in the trenches. This is a way to raise the morale and show that you are willing to invest in your people.
Wow. Yeah, that kind of holds some people's feet to the fire, if you will.
Absolutely. If you say you care about me, if you say you invest in me, those are action words. You need to show me. And I feel like that is a great avenue by bringing them to the conference. You know how many eyes will pop out to know that they were being selected to attend a conference, and let alone they are nominated to be a hospitality all-star. This may be the only award that they ever received in their career. This is life-changing. It really is. And
Yeah.
it's impactful.
Yes, definitely impactful. I love it. This is, like I said, I've never heard of anything like this before. Bridging that gap, getting, line people as well as managers together, or just employees and managers together. That's going to make an impact, a huge impact. So I can't wait to hear how that's going to turn out, because I know it's going to turn out well, and I can see, this happening all over the country. Maybe I'm just manifesting this. I don't know what I'm doing right now.
Yes. We're willing to take it on the road.
But yeah, I'm just, excuse me, I'm just glad that I could be a little bit a part of this and just help get out that information. So tell us about astuthospitalitypartners.com. I know this is something that you started as well, right?
Yes, no, Astute Hospitality Partners is owned and operated by Mr. Willie Jenkins,
Okay.
and his vice president is Mrs. Elgentine Dudley. So I came on as the chair because I wanted to enhance and bring something that could bring spotlight to Astute Hospitality Partners, as they are a task force company. So you will be able to speak with him live and direct at the conference if you need any assistance with staffing your hotel, with leadership, or any other roles. So this is just an educational component of Astute Hospitality Partners. So we are all working together to execute this wonderful event.
Okay, okay, got you, got you. Talk a little bit about, and we're going to be winding this down a little bit, but I want you to talk a little bit about the program that you have for the 9 to 16 year olds called vocalizers. How do you assist them in? Because I mean, people 9 to 16 are afraid to talk anyway, right? For the most part, they don't. How do you get them to, I guess, kind of open up and kind of block out the noise? Because a lot of kids deal with a lot of things that they're getting a lot of outside influence, like why are you doing this, or you shouldn't do that, or who do you think you are? You're going to be talking in front of people or whatever. How do you get them? First of all, how do you get them involved, and how do you kind of ease that fear of public speaking, if you will?
So basically, it's about building relationships. So I tend to target nonprofit organizations that work with children and find a need. If I attend some of their events and I see that they're shy and that their nonprofit founder is placing them on the stage, but they really don't want to speak, then I know that's the need. That's the child that needs the development. And it's really about building a relationship with them and helping them see themselves in the mirror and really find their confidence and their voice. So it takes time. I have to build that relationship and ask them why are they shy? What is making them afraid to speak? And that's where the confidence coaching has to come in, because they have to feel great about themselves before they are able to speak in front of an audience. So right now I'm working with a group called the Rare Pearls, where I mentor those 9 to 16 year olds and really attend some of their events when they meet together. And we have workshops that help them get into practice of standing up, standing tall, um, and speaking clearly and loudly. And as we go through those exercises, when it's time for them to go to different performances or empowerment luncheons, you will be able to see them elevate and be able to speak more confidently.
Very good. I love that. Excuse me. I love that. Now, okay, so we're at the end here. So I'm going to ask you this one question. I've never asked anyone this question before. Actually, I'm going to share a quote with you, and I want you to tell me what this quote means to you. Because one thing that I see is that, well, I see a lot more certain people starting to get out and maybe start their own shows and things like that. So this is kind of on this same vein. So the quote is, "You can't expect results if you're hiding. Visibility is not luck, it's strategy." What does that mean to you?
You cannot hide. You cannot sit behind the scenes if you want to move metrics. You have to be in the front. You have to be in the trenches. I truly believe in that, because relationships builds results. And if you don't have relationships, your results will not go well. You have to be seen. And if you feel like that is an area of opportunity, then that's something that's a skill that needs to be developed, because in order for you to progress, you have to be visible, especially at the top, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are an employee, whatever the cause may be. When people see you, they understand you, they know that they have a relationship with you. They know that they can come to you, and they feel better about performing for you.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
thrive on the relationships brings results.
Wow. Okay. Okay. That was good. That was good. That was a quote I came up with, I don't know, a couple of months ago. And I just wanted this, you're the first person I kind of shared that with. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that as well. So thank you very much. Because it's all about visibility, right? I mean, just, how are people going to find out about this? I mean, and you asked me, to come onto this show, and of course you've been on other podcasts and things like that. The more that we become comfortable with doing that, the more we can get our message out there. Because a lot of people, and I hate to say, well, I don't hate to say this, but a lot of people within the hospitality space, they don't want to do podcasts. They don't want to be seen. And then I'm speaking for salespeople. They're afraid to even talk in front of a camera, that kind of thing. But I said, well, how do you expect people to know who you are, what you do, and how you can help them if you don't show that visual side of you? I mean, it's fine to have one-on-one appointments to go to these conferences and things like that. But what about when you're in your home office and, people start to forget who you are, right? It's all about putting yourself out there and constantly putting yourself out there. So I'm glad you answered. I'm glad I got a chance to ask you that question, and the way you answered it was marvelous. Okay,
Thank you.
was great. Now, okay, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and we're gonna get off here. So, excuse me. You said you're gonna come up. You have a talk show, right? You're gonna have a talk show. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yes.
that? Can you tell us a little bit about
So
that?
So Live with Stacia will actually go live at the Bridging the Gap conference. And
Oh,
um, yeah, I started wanting to do a podcast and I'm like, no, I need to be visible, right? So I was like, I'm gonna do a Live with Stacia where it'll be a pop-up talk show that could happen and go anywhere. And I will have attendees and speakers. Um, joining me on the stage to talk about various topics. Majority hospitality, but it will talk about other things as well, and it will highlight professionals as well. So you will be able to see that set up at the conference during one of the conference days, and you'll be able to sign up for a slot if you feel like you have what it takes to be on Live with Stacia.
wow, you're gonna bring the energy. I can tell. I can definitely tell that.
Absolutely. We didn't call it fireside for nothing.
There you go. There you go. So wow. Once again, we're on with Stacia, talking about well, we're talking about a lot of different things. Talking about our conference that's coming up, and we just appreciate her asking me to come back on the show. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I know it was time because I think it's been over a year, maybe almost 2 years that you've been
Absolutely.
on. Yeah. So yeah, no, we want to make sure we circle back and see with things that she's working on, and she's working on a lot of great things. And the hospitality industry is very proud of her for what she's doing and what she's going to do. So I'm gonna give the floor to you. Any closing words?
Yeah, so as I said, this conference, I had some questions about, is this only for hospitality professionals in Atlanta? It is not. It is for anyone. If you are fortunate enough to travel, we definitely want you in the room. You will be able to purchase your tickets or sponsorships on www.astuthospitalitypartners.com, or you can directly inbox me and I will be more than happy to email you the information. The tickets are $300 per person, or if you want to purchase a table of 8, it is 2,400. And we also have sponsorships available as well. And we're looking forward to just seeing everyone at this conference on September 25th and 26th. Let's all bridge the gap together.
Very good. Love it. Love it. Love it. I'll make sure I put the email, I'm not email, but the website where they can look for more information on the show notes and everything like that. So they'll be able to, they can be directed to that particular website, and they can ask all the questions they want. So yeah, so this is good. So I know, once again, I appreciate you allowing me to be part of this. And I really do. I really do. And anything else I can do moving forward, if you want to do another one of these, I mean, you're more than welcome to do another one with me. So that's fine because I love that. And as it gets closer, you want to make sure you build up that momentum as well. So thank you. Like I said, once again,
Absolutely.
thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Russell. It's been great. You have a great weekend, and thank you to all of his listeners. Make sure you please follow him. He always has great topics. Thank you so much for listening today.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Take care and go back to work. I mean, I see a lot of this is a working hotel, right?
Absolutely. Back to work I go.
All right. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. Bye bye. Wow, that was great. So once again, thank you so much, Miss Stacia Harvey Randall, for coming on. HR professional, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and a coach. Okay, so there you go. So thank you so much, and I appreciate everyone joining in for this daily check-in. I normally do a daily check-in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And today just happened to be a special one because, Friday, first day of the new month, August 1st. So once again, thank you, Stacia, for coming on and giving us all that great information about bridging the gap. So there you go. That is it. You guys have a great day. I'll be back on Monday, of course, to do another daily check-in. Oh, remember, I'll be traveling too. So we got some travel going on and a lot of exciting things happening in the next couple of days. So make sure if you don't follow me on YouTube, make sure you do. Russell of Hotels is my YouTube channel. LinkedIn, of course, Russell L. Edmond. And then also follow me on IG, which is Russell of Hotels. IG means Instagram, just in case you did not know that. Okay, so anyway, that's it. Have a great day. Happy Friday. Great weekend. And we will see you soon. And as always, peace.